Hello, welcome to the Real MacKay, the Scott Today video blog. Things in a bit of a rush this morning. We're moving towards the 11 o'clock bulletin, and just this morning, just dropped on the wires. And if Fraser can come in, just give you an idea of how stories break on the wires. If we don't bring them in ourselves, this was just 40 minutes ago, and you see on the wires, Rugby Union Scotland snap. Now snap means it's just a breaking story. So you have a look at it. What does it say? A member of Scotland's Rugby Union squad has failed an anti-doping test. It has been announced. That's all they tell us in a snap. It's literally that. Shortly thereafter, you get another line. A member of Scotland's RBS Six Nations squad has failed a drugs test, and they tell us there's going to be a news conference at 11:15 at Murrayfield, where the player's identity will be revealed. But you also see that the Scotland team doctor and the international administrations manager are going to be at this news conference as well. Immediately, Raman, our sports correspondent, gets on the phone and starts trying to find out what's happened. Sky were running a line on it. They had one of their reporters pretty much just saying what has been on the wires, and that's part of the problem with 24-hour news, that there's really no insight you can give. You're basically just repeating what's been seen.
Okay, I mean, I'm more than happy to do it, but we are just listening. We're just saying it's a kind of non-story. We're explaining the information.
So the story is developing. So we decide for the 11 o'clock bulletin that we're going to this immediately. If I show you the running order for the 11 o'clock. We have it up there as the lead story. This is quite a big story. A Scottish rugby player has failed an anti-doping test. We're going to have Raman sitting there in front of the camera to do a live into the bulletin. Ideally, what we would have done is got a satellite truck out to Murrayfield, and we could have done it live from there, but that wasn't going to happen. However, the story, even the short time that we've been following that story, that's less than an hour. We've got some further detail on it, all as a result of Raman's checks. So we'll just, before we even go on air, give you an idea what the story's about.
So it certainly wasn't at the weekend there. He took it, and Mike probably wasn't any of the Six Nations games. He was a member of the squad for the other two, Andy was saying, so I don't think he even played in the other two games.
So we've just been explaining how this story has broken, and you've made some check calls. Now we were thinking this could be something pretty big, but your calls are suggesting it's maybe more innocent than that.
Yeah, it seems that the player he's taken a banned substance, but not as a performance enhancing drug. He is a prescribed user of a particular asthmatic drug, that's what they call it, and the one which he has used for years, he used an equivalent to that which is on the banned list, and he's not been given clearance to use that, hence why he has failed the drugs test. But I mean, the punishment often fits the crime, and all he's been is warned and severely reprimanded. So
it seems innocence as much
innocence rather than a malicious attempt to take a performance enhancing drug.
Now the news conference is at 11:15, so that's in half an hour. We're going to be going on air. You're going to be doing a live into the 11 o'clock bulletin. Obviously, sometimes you can't get anything before the news conference. You have managed to do that. Is that simply by bashing phones?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, it's like, John, just phone up contacts in the game, and you get off the record steers from whoever, and you have to use that in good faith. So that's how we've worked out who the player is, what the substance was taken, when. Well, we don't actually know when exactly it was taken, but yeah, that's how you've got to pick up the phone to find information. It won't come to you.
Indeed, and so originally we were thinking of this being a big lead, possibly even tonight, but obviously it's not quite that level. No. How do you see it playing out this evening?
I would have thought it would kick off a rugby package in the sports slot of the programme. But even then, that rugby package would probably be near the end of the slot, because the story is not controversial. It's not an attempt, as we were saying, by this player to use a drug to help him perform. When I say he's found to have inadvertently taken a prohibited medication without permission, that's when you bring it in.
Good morning. Your news in Scotland today. A member of Scotland's Rugby Union squad has failed a drugs test. The Scottish Rugby Union have called a news conference in Murrayfield where the player's identity will be revealed. Well, for more on this, we can cross live to our sports presenter Raman Bhardwaj.
John, the information we've received just within the last few minutes is that the identity of this player is Scott McLeod, the 28-year-old lock, who has won 16 caps for his country, the latest being against Ireland at the weekend in the Six Nations, was found to inadvertently taken a prohibited banned substance. Now I say inadvertently, that's because McLeod is asthmatic and has been using an inhaler
that's an untypical example of how a story can flare up and almost die away very, very quickly. You'll have the initial breaking story in the wires, you'll then have Raman or whoever buying the phones, you'll then have, as you saw, editorial discussions going on. We'll do something into it in an earlier bulletin, and the story will progress, and you get the full detailed story tonight at 6 o'clock on Scotland Today. So watch it then.